in the group see this. This is actually our first ever repeat guest in the Generate series. This is Laura DiBenedetto, author of The 6 Habits, which I actually read some of the 6 Habits. I didn't read the whole thing. I'm not going to lie to you. And your most fun story is you like retired and quit working. And now you're like, no, that's really boring. So let's go back to working in marketing and start Vision University and, re-engage vision advertising and all the stuff you're doing, which is crazy to me because like supposedly when you retire and move to Hawaii like you did, you're supposed to stay retired. But I guess you just love marketing and the passion of working so much, you just can't say no. So tell us, why are you unretiring and working on marketing, and what's going on that you're just like back in the fold 24/7 now?
I wouldn't say 24/7. Let's just be really clear about that, because I still wrote the book and it's all about quality of life and being happy, and you cannot spend your life working and be truly happy. So there's that. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but the world got weird and there was bit of a thing happening in the news and people being home a lot. And then, so my marketing company is run by who I described to you just a moment ago as the Chuck Norris of marketing. Her name is Julia Becker Collins. And
by the way, best name on a business card ever. I am the Chuck Norris of marketing. Like, she has to put that on her business card from now on.
She's so badass. She unfortunately, right at the exact time that COVID hit and the world got weird, she got cancer. So I've jumped back in to temporarily cover for her and help out. And since I can't not stick my fingers in stuff, it's like, ooh, let's build some programs and let's do this and let's do that and let's change things, because I love all that stuff. And as much as you can take the woman out of marketing, you can't take the marketing out of the woman. So this is my love language, baby. Like, marketing is my jam. Like, I'm so excited to spill the dirt for you and really give up lots and lots of great tips to help people.
All right. So let's first dive into all the stupid stuff people are doing around marketing right now, right? And I am the biggest offender of this because there is so much stuff going on in the world right now, politically charged, emotionally charged. The world, especially here in America, just dividing up into two camps of you agree with this or you don't agree with this, or you're on team A or team B. And right before we went live, I was talking about like there's some messaging that's coming out by certain brands that feels very authentic. And there's some messaging that's coming out that just feels like, come on, man, you're pandering. That's a joke. That's not your core audience. And so one of the things I'm most excited to hear from you is like, when we talk about marketing, a lot of people use this marketing plus authenticity, right? And I know this is part of what you teach in your like very cost efficient Vision University course, which we'll link here shortly. But I hear those words almost interchangeable. Like, you have to be authentic with your audience and you have to market, What does all of that mean? And where is this going right? And where is this going wrong? Because I see a lot of inauthentic brands that are pissing me off. And then I see a lot of authentic brands that are like, you're pissing me off too, because I don't want all this stuff shoved down my throat. So I can give you examples, but I think you know where I'm going with the authentic marketing.
I do. And you know what? We all do. We all have a company in mind that's like, wow, thanks for your COVID policy. I went to your website once 5 years ago. I don't care. And then you've got other people inserting themselves into political conversations and it's not relevant, but then you get companies that are inserting themselves into things and it actually is relevant. At the end of the day, when it comes to talking about the tough stuff, you need, like, the whole authenticity conversation is you need to genuinely give a shit. It needs to actually resonate with you and with your audience. That's the important part. Does this matter to your audience and the people that actually buy from you? Do they want to hear about this? And more specifically, do they want to hear about it from you, or are you coming across as like a me too? Like, you're not trying to come across like a chump or a tone deaf loser that just really doesn't understand what people are truly feeling, right? So we're doing a lot in terms of helping our clients to figure out how to navigate this landscape. For the most part, believe it or not, we're advising that people actually just stay out of it. Okay. So we represent like a lot of restaurants, a lot of insurance agencies, and a lot of mortgage companies and things like that. And when we are doing this, this is the conversation we have. Are you prepared for a fight? And the answer is like, huh? A fight? Yeah. Pick a side. When you pick a side, even if it's truly in your bones the right side, you're going to attract haters. And if you're not willing to have the fight with the haters and lose constituents at the same time that you gain constituents, if you're not ready for that, please just do what you do and stay out of it. Like, so we represent an ice cream shop. Do you really want your ice cream shop weighing in on the Trump-Biden debate? No, you don't. You just want your damn ice cream.
Wait. You mean I can go to a business that's not politically charged?
All my clients.
I mean, look, and
ice cream should not be political, okay? I don't want a side of bullshit with my mocha chip. I just want the mocha chip, and the whole purpose of ice cream is to be like, life is so good for like a few minutes, right? And if you drag a bunch of crap into it that it has no place being in, then you're actually muddying the purity of what you're doing. Yeah. And you shouldn't do that. Like, so for example, we have a lot of restaurants. Again, don't have these conversations right now because you are people's refuge from the crap. You're their safe space. And if you make it not safe by talking about all these things, even if you believe you've picked the right side, it's not safe for them anymore. It's not their refuge, right? It's not their thing that feels normal. Right now, I think we can all agree, things do not feel normal by a long shot, and people want normal. So you want to really be a servant? Be normal, give people normal, just do your job, do it well, you know? And if you have an organization that's perhaps a nonprofit, maybe you do need to weigh in, you know, maybe you really do want to have the fight. Cool. You know, but this is a tricky one. You have to be ready for a fight if you're going to bring up these things, because you will always attract the opposition. Always.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, there's a lot of, and one example that keeps coming to mind is like, obviously the Black Lives Matter movement. I don't think anybody can disagree at all with the movement and the sentiment of Black Lives Matter. That's just common sense. But, you know, like everything else in this world, it gets hijacked by politics, and then people have to weigh in with a political message, right? So, you know, I've just been kind of monitoring my inbox, and if I get an email from the NFL or Nike or a brand that's like very, very connected with the African-American community or the Black community, sorry, I don't know which one's politically correct this month, that makes sense to me, right? That resonates with me.
Okay, white guy,
you're
trying.
I know, exactly. Those are their constituents. Those are their buyers. That is the audience that they are speaking to. When I get an email from Rolex or international watch company that's like, we stand with you, Black Lives Matter, and I'm like, no, you don't. Like, you're a luxury brand that does not talk to that audience on a regular basis. And if I look at your board of directors, it's all a bunch of 70-year-old white dudes. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but I'm just saying, like, don't get on the pandering bandwagon, because that actually makes me think less of your brand than if you just didn't say anything.
To my point, stay the hell out of it, do what you do, and pick your fight. Like, that's it. Like, I don't know. Obviously, they've got some strong feelings about it, and that's fine. And maybe they are ready for the fight. Maybe. And maybe that was the right choice for them because that's what felt right in their heart, or maybe that's what their constituents really wanted. But there's a chance that it is not what they wanted, to your point. I mean, The thing is, like, it doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It could be, you know, you love Trump, you hate Trump, you love Biden, you hate Biden, you hate both of them, you love both of them, you think coronavirus is the most deadly thing that ever happened, or you think it's all a lie. Like, it doesn't matter what you believe. If you're going to stand up on a soapbox and attach it to your business, your source of income, you better be prepared for a fight, because it will be polarizing. And my personal opinion is, and my professional opinion is, these are two separate things. And unless it's an integral part of your business, keep your personal political views to yourself and make it your job to serve people well. Period. Full stop.
Got it. And then obviously the cross section here is social media. Like, the more comfortable people are being themselves on social media, but then also use social media to market their business, it gets very confusing. But let's move to a solution-based conversation, because I think you can help with this. So in a time when only bad news in politics seems to be relevant, right? Like, you can watch 4 hours of news tonight and it will be all hate and division and politics and political opinions on this versus that and political ramifications of this versus that. So in a current temperature of society where only political things seem relevant, how do we make our marketing relevant without being political, right? Because I can understand the trap. If the only thing all Americans are talking about are politics, I can see why brands would be like, well, we got to kind of ride that wave and get on that soapbox and like, get our 15 seconds because that's the only thing people talk about is politics. So if you're, Lululemon, without talking about COVID, and the fact that everybody's now stuck working at home because they can't go to the gyms and wading into that whole thing, like how does one craft marketing that's interesting and relevant, but not political and going down that divisive nature?
Well, first you got to begin with your humanity. I mean, if you're smart, and we all are, you have to think about what am I feeling right now? And what are my customers feeling? Okay. So this is one of the things that I review in one of the courses and some of the interviews that I know you're going to talk about later, but like people are not there for you to sell to them. People are there for you to serve them. And the only way you can serve them is by listening and understanding and solving their real problem. So here's the thing about marketing and sales, okay? Marketing is there to help you sell. Sales is there to facilitate the solving of someone's problem. It like when you're doing mortgages, okay? I know this is like your jam. Like you are not selling mortgages so you can make your company more successful. That's not the point. You are giving someone their dream home. You are helping that person buy a home that was perhaps under their old view, a little out of reach. Maybe you're helping that person to solve a big problem in their life. Like we are problem solvers when we sell anything. The people that sell Rolex, they are helping people to solve the problem of, I don't look rich enough to my friends, so I need to have a fancy bit of arm candy to show off so I can look like a baller and feel better about myself. You think I'm kidding? I'm not.
No, it works for me. That's the reason I have a Rolex.
Nice. Well, it's also the reason I don't have a Rolex because, maybe you should finish my book. I'm just saying. All right. But listen, everything that we think is a luxury good, like a fancy car or this or that, it's usually to make someone feel better within, right? But when we're solving a real problem, like I don't think I can get lending from this particular source. I don't think I can get financing from this source, or I don't know if I can afford the house of my dreams or whatever. You're solving a concrete problem for someone. And it's really, really important. It sounds like all this stuff that I'm saying to you is super obvious. Duh, we solve problems. But the spirit of what I'm telling you is the magic. If you don't embody this approach and this wisdom and this total mindset, you're always a sales schmuck. And when you're a sales schmuck, you're a marketing schmuck. And nobody wants to do business with a schmuck. But if you're a fixer, you're a doer, you're a solutionizer, you're the person that is bringing magic to others, people are going to have a reputation around you and your brand. They're going to be like, wow, this person gets me. Wow, this person is always there to solve my problems. I get so much value from this person. I get so much relief from this person or this brand or whatever it is. Like I feel better. Because at the end of the day, here's a secret for you. People buy things for two reasons. Two, and one outweighs the other by a massive margin. They buy things for two reasons. Either they're running away from pain or they're running toward pleasure. Okay. 95% of the time, people are running away from pain, even with the fancy watches, even with the Range Rovers and the big houses and the this and the that. Sometimes it's internal feelings of inadequacy. Sometimes it's a nagging spouse. Sometimes it's never feeling like they're good enough for their parents. You have to understand these things, right? So circling back to your original question, when we are marketing to people in social media, if we're there as problem solvers and we truly understand the people we're solving problems for and selling to, we understand that they're scared right now. They don't know what the world is going to look like in 6 months. They don't want to hear your tone deaf opinions about blah, blah, blah. What they want to hear is how they can feel better, how they can know their future is secure. They want to know, I get to feel better today, even for 5 minutes. Okay. You got to be, as a marketer right now in this landscape, September 2020, you got to be the fixer, the healer, the problem solver, the resource for good. When you are the resource for good, it gets easy to talk about. So your authenticity could come across as, God, the world is really scary right now. We don't even know what the future will hold. I understand you're worried about your future. I get it. Let's talk about building you a secure future you can build on, or you can plan a future on, or whatever. Like, talk to people about the thing that's really bugging them. It's not about your damn stretchy pants. It's about wanting to feel like life is normal. It's not about the Rolex. It's about wanting to feel good about yourself. It's not about the mortgage. It's about knowing you've got a safe place for your family. That's the conversation to have. So when it comes to authenticity, it's listening as much as it is talking, and genuinely showing up as who you are as a person that actually gives a shit about the true problem you're solving.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Awesome.
One of my favorite brands ever, and I have to turn you on to them. They're called I Am Project X. They make clothes that are just like this convergence of like kind of workout clothes, kind of like Hawaiian surf pattern. It's like relaxation workout. So it's like you're not quite so hardcore that you're
athleisure.
Yeah, athleisure. It's not so hardcore that you're going to CrossFit, but it's not like, skin tight, I'm going to yoga either. It's like what dudes that are carrying an extra 20 pounds wear when they go work out. So I found them because they solve a very specific problem, is that for a long time, this might still be the case because I haven't bought a pair of workout shorts other than I Am Project X for a long time. For a long time, all the like Nike workout shorts came with these super shallow pockets that like if you put your keys or your wallet in, they were falling out. So I Googled like workout shorts with deep pockets. And sure enough, I Am Project X came out with, are you sick of everything falling out of your pockets? Here's the problem we solve. We make workout shorts with deep pockets. If you sew them this way, they don't even bug you when you're working out. And it's like, now I spend $45 on these cheap, I'm wearing them right now, Hawaiian print shorts that like probably cost them $5 to make. And they're
why? Because they solved your real problem.
Solved my problem. And they knew to put that marketing in front of me when I was trying to solve that problem. So I love that a lot. So tell me real quick about, well, not real quick, because we could talk for hours about this, but in your Vision University, like I know you have some courses on there. By the way, if you're watching this and you're looking for a way to like kickstart and come up with a plan, just spend the $49 or $59 or $79, whatever it is. 47. Take Laura's class, whatever it is. But tell us how people can start thinking through the foundation of their marketing, right? Because I kind of just go live on Facebook all the time and I talk, and people are either going to resonate with me or they're not. They're either going to want to work with me on their mortgage or they're not. They're going to want to coach with me or they're not. Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, I've kind of like, thankfully, after 20 years of hard work, have a big enough database that I'm like, okay, cool. I can kind of afford to work with the people who want to work with me and vice versa. But if somebody's like, hey man, I'm really just trying to do this initial push of growing my business, or I'm new in an industry or new in a geographical area, if somebody's starting to think through like, what does marketing even mean, right? Because depending on whose $49 course you buy, they'll either tell you, you got to go all in on graphics or video or going live or Instagram, or some people are still saying you got to do mailers. You got to mail to neighborhoods with your interest rates, and that'll generate mortgages. And I'm like,
oh, and make sure you get on TikTok because everybody else is on it.
And you got to be on TikTok, but then TikTok's gonna be shut down. So you got to go to this new one, Singularity, or what? I mean, whatever. It's just, it's all.
Doesn't it make you nuts?
It makes me effing bonkers, right? And like my 18-year-old kid, we don't communicate as much as we could because he refuses to get on Facebook because that's for old men. And I refuse to get on Twitch because that's a bunch of kids that do video games. So it's like we text sometimes, but it's like,
I do not have a kid. I never knew about Twitch till this moment. I was years old when I heard about it.
Yeah. Twitch started out as this video gaming streaming service. And now basically every kid under 20 uses that in lieu of text and WhatsApp and everything else. So it's apparently amazing. I refuse to download yet one more platform. Awesome. Yeah, we're old. So if you're starting to think through, okay, I need a better marketing plan coming out of COVID, relaunching my business. I own a small, athletic wear company that was selling at gyms and sales have gone to zero because we can't go to gyms anymore or whatever. Like, where do people even start to think through what is marketing?
I love the question. I love the topic. So I started the Vision University. It's an offshoot of Vision Advertising. You can get to it vision-university.com. I created it because, the COVID landscape has affected my business. It is. It's all good. We're pivoting hard. And this is one of the things that, Julia and I wanted to create a couple of years ago, but, life is busy, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you got cancer. I'm going to play, stick my fingers in the pie, and I'm finally going to build this. So I started building the course catalog. And the most important question that I asked myself was, what is the course that would have made the most difference for me when I started all this stuff, and the course that would have changed everything for my clients, the people that pay me monthly to do things for them? Well, it's a course that starts with understanding what the hell marketing is at all. Okay. We all think we understand it, and that's a fatal mistake. Fatal. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people, oh, well, my daughter knows Facebook, so she's just going to do my marketing for me because, she's young and whatever. Baby, that is not a marketing strategy. That is a nepotism disaster. Don't do that. So the thing about marketing when done correctly is, number one, understand the field is massive. It's massive. Okay. Marketing as a whole, you've got video production artists, you've got like stock photography companies, you've got like publicity companies, you have whole divisions of the media that are dedicated to just sticking a giant sign on a road called a billboard. Like, the marketing industry is one of the biggest industries out there, but people don't think about it. It's way beyond TV, radio, podcasts, Facebook, everything, right? Number one, you have to acknowledge the enormity of it and check your ego at the door and realize there's a lot to it, which means there's a lot to learn and there's a lot to mess up. I don't want people to mess things up. And people have lost thousands and thousands. They've lost their companies. They've lost their livelihoods on shitty investments that they didn't have to make. So-and-so from XYZ media company. Hey, hi, I've got this thing I need to sell you. If you show up here, you get this many impressions. Oh, okay. Seems good. No. They're selling you that because they're going to feed their kids because of the thing you bought. Question is, are you going to feed your kids because of the thing you bought? Probably not, because you don't know how to make a good decision. So the thing about marketing is you have to understand it and make a good decision for all the things, right? So I built the course that would help people to actually understand what it is, understand laws of supply and demand, why things like like social media are relevant, what will continue to be relevant no matter what's going on in the world, traditional media versus new media, different opportunities, how to gauge them, and the importance, and how to build a marketing plan. And here's what a lot of people do. They'll just be like, oh, well, I'm going to start a business, or I'm going to, build a personal brand. So I'm just going to get on Instagram. Cool. Why? Why are you going to be on Instagram? Well, because so-and-so is on it. Uh-huh. Are your customers on it? Do you know who they are? Do you know who your avatar is? Do you know the problems of the person you are selling to? Do you know exactly where that person spends time? Do you know what messages they need to hear? Do you know exactly where to put your strategic advertisements in front of them and saying precisely what? Do you know that? Oh, you don't? Get your ass off Instagram, right? And build yourself a marketing plan before you do anything. Right? So that's one of the most critical components that I really want to push people to do is understand marketing, understand what it is, most importantly, what it's not, and then really have a lot of respect for like how hard it is when you don't understand it. Don't overstate your abilities. But then once you actually show up with that kind of humility, you know what happens? You make better decisions. You go from throwing, pasta against the wall, hoping it sticks, right? Spaghetti marketing. You go from like, that could work. Maybe let's try it, to this will work because this is my strategy, because I will measure it this method. I will pivot when, because you end up finding that your marketing costs you less. I'm in the business of helping people spend less money. I don't know if that's a terrible business model or a good one, but it's, people need to spend less in marketing, and they also need to have more fun doing it. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've seen a frustrated marketer ripping their hair out. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. Or someone trying to build a brand. I hate this. It's no fun. Yeah, I know. It's because you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But you can solve that problem. You can learn. And we should learn. And, honestly, I want every single one of my clients that we do marketing for to take the course. take it, please. You'll know what we're doing for you. You do it yourself, great. You'll make better decisions and you'll never get swindled by an unscrupulous media salesperson ever again.
So in all of that, you said the magic word that I think has become the snake oil, right? Is impressions. Like, well, if you just spend $5 a day, you'll get 100 impressions on Facebook, or 1,000 impressions. Or, Scott, if you buy this billboard on the 405, you'll get 1.2 million impressions of clients driving by the billboard. But to your point, like, do I know my client? Do I know what problem they're trying to solve? My clients don't buy houses or pick their loan officer off of a billboard. They're looking for the realtor to guide them to the right person, right? So why has this idea of impressions or brand recognition or building a personal brand, why has this taken over the industry as like the new de facto way that we measure things? Like is it just because it's easier? Is it a scam? Like, I don't know, because it feels to me like Facebook could give me 100,000 impressions, right? But if 100,000 people see my ad that doesn't convert or doesn't turn into an actual mortgage, I just wasted money on impressions.
Yeah. I mean, impressions are only part of the story. So it's not really like a false metric. It's just an incomplete metric. So, remember how we talked about like the avatars and like what you say and the messages and understanding people's pain? Yeah, you could get impressions, but what if your ad sucks? What if your website sucks? Like, there's so many variables to all of these different things, and all it takes is actually one of them being out of alignment. It's kind of like your spine. You ever go to a chiropractor and they'll be like, oh, well, this one's subluxated, and you've been feeling like crap, and as soon as they shove it back in, it's like, sweet relief. It's kind of the same thing, right? Like you can't have like one thing out of alignment, but the thing with like the impressions or the ad itself or the ad sets or the ad copy or the link or the website or blah, 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 any of the different options, when you don't understand marketing, you don't know how to find which part is broken. You don't know if the whole thing is broken. If you've got 5 things broken, one thing broken that only needs just one tiny tweak, you're constantly chasing your tail like on just like a marketing whack-a-mole. So yes, impressions matter when you have everything else that's right. And that's the tricky part, because it's so easy to build a shitty ad. And
Right.
It really is. And listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. Marketers build shitty ads. That's actually how we get to the good ads. Like you sometimes like we'll start a campaign for someone and we'll build like, I don't know, like 45 different ad sets, right? We have to do testing and we have to see what really resonates with the audience, with the messages, with this and that. We have a really broad campaign. And through all of the testing, we're able to figure out which ones suck. But you know what most people do? They'll start a campaign on their own. They want to do it on their own. They don't know any better to do ad testing and blah, blah, blah. They'll start one ad, just one. They won't do 45 ad sets, and they won't do A/B testing on each of the individual things. And they won't actually get to the point of discovering, oh, this one sucks because, this one sucks because, but this one's great because, this one needs to be better because. The because is so important, the why, right? And, if we're able to actually incorporate like better testing, better logic, better like methodology throughout the whole thing, the impressions really can make a difference. And I mean, shoot, you got other like handy dandy buzzwords like click-through rate and bounce rate and blah, blah, blah. And all of these things only matter if you've actually got all the variables in place with all of the wisdom that you need to know which variables you're looking at and what you're looking for.
So you said something in there, like something a real marketing firm like yours will do. And let me explain to you what I think A/B testing is, and then you can tell me how wrong I am, or
I'm hitting you with jargon. Sorry.
How the big boys like you do it better. So I think A/B testing is you put 2 ads up on Facebook that are exactly the same, and one is red and one is blue. And then you find out that the red one attracts more clicks, likes, interaction. And then for me in the mortgage space, you say, okay, well, now we've got our red ad because that plays better than blue. And the red ad, the verbiage, let's lower your interest rate versus let's lower your payment. And then you A/B test that. And then it comes back, oh, you know what? More people click on it if you say lower payment instead of lower interest rate. And you keep fine tuning and fine tuning and fine tuning until eventually you get to an ad that says, hey, this ad converts at 5 times better than this ad.
Yep.
But who the F has time to do that?
Well, that's exactly it. To do things right, oftentimes you do need the help of a marketing partner, which is what we do at Vision Advertising, which is vision-advertising.com. We do it for you, and we will sit there and do all the boring A/B testing and do all the itty bitty little variables. And it's like, ooh, this ad has a lot of click-throughs, but we had a higher bounce rate on this one versus this one. Why? Follow the breadcrumbs. Like, ooh, well, how can we get this higher? And it's like, all that nerdy work, somebody's got to do it. So we do that stuff, do the reporting on it. Oh, by the way, this is why you will always get someone like me that says to you, yeah, it's going to be a 1-year contract. Yeah, it's not going to work in the first month. You know why? Because all that handy dandy A/B testing and figuring out the messages and all that other stuff doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. And you actually need other humans to interact with it in order to get the data. And that takes time. And it's usually a factor of your budget.
Wait, there's humans on the other side of that transaction. It's just not the Facebook algorithm.
Mind blowing. Am I right?
It is funny because there's a big conversation. And again, I can speak to the real estate market and the mortgage market and stuff because that's what I'm most closely intertwined with. There's a big conversation right now. It's like, oh, is the iBuyer just going to want to go to an online portal to buy the house and an online portal to get their mortgage and blah, 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 blah. And even the most tech savvy 25-year-old silicon, whiz kid, they don't want to do that. Ironically, they still want a human to interact with them, educate them, advocate for them, walk them through the most probably expensive financial transaction they'll ever do, except for maybe, selling or buying a company. But it is interesting that with all the algorithm and all the A/B testing and all the tricks and tips and hacks and everything, it's still just one human buying something from another human at the end of the day, right?
Yes. And that's such an important lesson. And I appreciate that you were able to clarify that little nugget of insight. I think that we forget that. We all forget that, right? Like, oh, we focus on the algorithm and the amount of clicks and the amount of likes. No, that was a human that went like that. That was a human that did this. And when you, the human, through your brand, or just when you're building a personal brand, when you are trying to connect with other humans and solve human problems, if you remember that they're people, you're always going to be better off. Always. I mean, that's the whole authenticity thing that you started all this with. People forget that they're marketing to humans. You're not marketing to serve the almighty algorithm, and you're not trying to, appease the gods of Instagram. Like, that's not the point.
No, I'm marketing to a demographic of 19 to 45, and I want earners over $100,000, and they have to live in Los Angeles. And it's like Facebook. There's a great documentary right now on social networks and social media and whatnot. But I think one of the things that, these are all just the byproducts of the stuff that we asked for. We as marketers or salespeople asked for, hey, give me as much demographic information so I can drill down and advertise to 25 to 50-year-old white men that are 20 pounds overweight. They used to be athletic and now want to buy, gym shorts with deep pockets. Like, it's crazy, but
these are like data points. These are not, that's the thing. Like, when we're building like your ideal customer profile, which is one of the things that through Vision University you can learn how to do, but only if you take the marketing foundations first. You'll actually learn how to look at a section of people that are ideal for you, way beyond all the stuff you just spat out, and more like, what are they upset about? What are they afraid of? What do they dream of? Where do they shop? What do they like? What characterizes their personality? Like, these are the things that are really integral to your ability to actually make a sale, and it's important that we know that.
I know a real estate coach who's very popular in our area, a guy named Steve Scholl, and he talks about, mindset and sales and accountability. And he always makes the joke. He's always like, but I know everybody here is just for the one question: should you or should you not put your picture on your business card? He's like, so many of you fixate over this stupid bullshit that you never get out there and talk human to human or make your sales call or do your prospecting or, go become the local matter expert by knocking door to door. He's like, if anyone else asks me the goddamn question, do I put my picture on my business card, yes or no? He's like, I'm just going to quit coaching and retiring. I just can't handle the stupid question.
Honestly, you get that level of misdirected fixation across all types of entrepreneurship. Either you're like, a loan officer out there building your own book of business and you're fixated on the wrong shit, or you're trying to start your own multi-level marketing thing, or you're, trying to start your own company, or you've been in it for a long time. People always fixate on the wrong stuff. And I mean, honestly, that's why I do what I do. Like, I'm all about high integrity marketing. I think you've known me well enough by now to know
Yes.
I'm going to tell you the truth, whether you want it or not, because I exist in high integrity, period, full stop. I mean, there's even a joke about like lawyers and marketers sitting on the same toasty bench in hell, and I refuse to be there. Like, here's the truth. No, don't buy that. Yes, buy this. Don't buy any of it. Or like I had someone say to me last week, she's like, oh, well, I really want to, take what little, money I've been getting from this and that. I really want to pay you to do this. I was like, baby girl, I love you. Thank you for wanting to give me your money. Please don't do that. I need you to keep it. And I need you to put it into you, making sure that you're still going to be, able to pay your bills in a month from now. And I need for you to invest your time. You cannot afford to hire someone right now. Right. And like, you're always seeing people fixating on like, oh, well, I need my logo to be perfect. I need this to be perfect. Oh, well, what about my tagline? They spend a day ruminating on it. Nobody gives a shit. They don't care, because at the end of the day, can you solve their problem? Yes or no? What the hell does a tagline have to do with it? Oh, well, you've got 90-degree angles in that logo of yours. I don't think I can buy from you.
Yeah.
Said no one ever. Like, these things don't matter. Also, put your face on your card. I don't even have a business card. How about that? I build relationships. No. We're doing cell phone to cell phone. We're texting, amigo. That's what we're doing. I don't have business cards anymore. So it's like, oh, do you have a business card? No. So that's an elevated conversation, right? Like, if you're there truly to solve a problem, just truly be in service to others, you really want to make your business grow, whatever your business expression is and your ability to make money, add the humanity. Learn what marketing really, really is. Learn what sales really is, Then you'll stop fixating on little stuff like business cards and logos and taglines and stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Have you ever seen this thing where they ask people to draw the Starbucks logo?
I feel like yes, but
It's
I'd be
hilarious. Just
cheating.
look it up on YouTube. Yeah. And people try to draw that because they have no clue what it is. They're like, is it a mermaid or an octopus with a face? Or is that supposed to be Ariel, the little mermaid? Like, it's very confusing. And people try to draw it. It's like, that's the most widely viewed logo in the history of the world. And
I feel like I could do better with McDonald's.
Yeah, that'd be pretty easy. But Starbucks is the most viewed, and nobody can draw it, so your logo doesn't matter. So let me ask you about that. If people like myself and others who aren't well versed in this category, we get fixated on like, okay, I got to go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I got to do this, and I got to hit this, and I got to send out this, I got to make these calls. If I am constantly stuck in the minutia, because for me, it's very much like I follow this checklist, I develop relationships,
right.
I close deals, I make money. If somebody is wanting to evaluate their marketing, take a step back, look at the 30,000 foot view and be like, Scott, maybe you're arguing about politics too much online. Or maybe Bill, you don't even have a brand. Or Ted, nobody knows what the hell you're selling. If somebody does want to take a step back,
really?
I'm watching it tonight. I just bought it on advanced.
I could tell where your brain was. Go on.
So back here at the 30,000 foot view, if somebody's like, all right, I got to buy Laura's $49 product or whatever, and I've got to watch the videos. But like, I want to think about my brand and my product and how I'm relating to people and how I'm solving their problem from the 30,000 foot view. Where can they start? Like, what's their half-hour journaling exercise to get away from their phone, go drink a glass of wine, smoke a joint, whatever state you live in, whatever's legal. What do they do to have that 30,000 foot view conversation with themselves?
My advice is going to be very strange. I'm just going to preface it with that. But it is actually the most effective, and it is the correct answer. You need to take about 2 weeks off, and you need to reevaluate your priorities, and you need to stop efforting the shit out of everything. find easy ways to do stuff, and realize what's actually important versus what you've been thinking is important due to momentum. You have to get off the hamster wheel long enough to actually realize the insanity of the dumb shit you've been doing and realize the value of the things perhaps you're not doing enough of, right? Listen, I own 2 companies. I work less than anybody you've ever met. Okay. And I'm more effective because of it. I mean, it's like, what are we, like halfway through September? I've already got like 6 to 8 weeks booked off for the rest of this year. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. And I don't work Fridays. That's just pretty much period, hard stop. I just don't. Um, Here's what you get from distance, right? It's the whole 50,000 foot view. Can look, this is my iPod case. Is this a 50,000 foot view? No.
Absolutely not.
No. But if I gain proper perspective from it, you know what else comes into view? The entire picture, right? When I put this way the hell across the room, I can see the whole room. I can actually gain distance from it and realize, oh, it's just one of many things. Oh, there's other things here. Oh, shoot, I've been ignoring that. I've been deprioritizing that. And we can realize that we can be much more efficient with our time. Like I say this in my book. Have you gotten to this part yet where I'm slamming like the influencers of the world that talk about
Oh yeah.
how lack of sleep is a prize? Yeah. Keep going. There's more fun stuff in there. I believe in you. So, like this is a lie, right? Oh, you got to make sure that you're up at 4:30 every morning and make sure you only sleep 4.5 hours and blah 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 blah. I got choice words for you. It doesn't matter how many hours you're awake. What matters is what you do with the hours you are committed to using efficiently. Efficiency, not quantity. Okay. So you want to be better. You want to make more sales calls. You want to make more effective sales calls. You want to close more business. Literally find the way to do less. And by the way, I always ask a lazy person. I am as lazy as they come. So if you want to find the fastest, most efficient way to do something, ask a lazy person. They found it, right? But when you can actually find a streamlined path of efficiency, I hate doing that. That's such a pain. Okay. Can you automate it? I can't stand minding my calendar. I just paid for Calendly. It's like $15 a month. Worth it. Guess what? Now I don't need to have all these little conversations that used to take up tons of my time. And I was like my own admin. Here's the link, book it. Okay, cool. Now other people can do things. There's also like other people not planning, creating emergencies for me. No, lack of planning on your part did not constitute an emergency on my part. Learn to say no to stuff. That's so important, and realizing that it's like, yeah, you know what? We can deal with this. Just because you say it's important doesn't mean that it actually is. Let's give this a day. Most problems will keep for a day or two. And if it doesn't, it'll just get worse or recur and you can deal with it then. By and large, we don't take enough time off. We don't have proper perspective of what's actually on our plates. We don't actually know enough about the things we need to know. We know we're essentially all jack of all trades these days. You got to know a little about Zoom. You got to know a little about the calendar. You got to know a little about the iPhone. You got to know a little about, LinkedIn and this and that. And we're just pulled. When we're doing that, we're robbing ourselves of the ability to laser focus and get really good at stuff, like building a brand with integrity, scalability, and an exit strategy that you can make millions from. If you're too busy in the minutia, you can't do that. How do you do it? You take time off. You have to take time off and you have to let go of certain things. So I did say this would be weird advice.
I cannot tell you how relevant that advice is. And I really swear to God, I have nothing else to end on because that is so good right now in a time when we're kind of in a world of haves and have-nots, right? Like a lot of people are really struggling. They have no paycheck and they're suffering. And they probably need 2 weeks detached from like, all right, what does this mean? How do I set up my finances? What's the next move? Do I want to change careers? And then there's a lot of people like in the mortgage industry where we've just been slammed, where it's like, we've been 24/7 nonstop since February 25th, March 5th, somewhere around there when rates started dropping. And so it's like, oh man, the fact that people need some time off right now in 2 weeks, I think we can end it on that. That's some great advice.
So thank you. Let me expand on this a little bit. Most people don't want to give themselves 2 weeks off because there's problems going on and I need to be there to solve it. I'm going to give you a totally transparent, concrete example. Okay. Revenues are down in vision advertising because our clients, their restaurants are closed. What the hell? Truth is truth. Okay. I'm not going to lie and be like, oh, yeah, we're killing it. No, we're not. It's okay. It's normal. And here's the thing, I just got back from 2 weeks off. You know why? Here's my logic. That shit will still be on fire when I get back. Goodbye. And this is something we need to give ourselves. It will still be on fire and it will still suck 2 weeks from now. Just step away from it. You know, I live on Maui and I had little staycation adventures with my husband. We went in the jungle, we went in the water, we went snorkeling, we went in the crater, we did all kinds of neat stuff. Here's the thing, take 2 weeks, be a tourist where you are, wherever you live. Okay. If you live in Massachusetts, like I used to, Massachusetts is loaded with great seafood and the coast and the city and the mountains. And there's so much beauty in every single state in the United States and every place on this planet. Stop making excuses. Your problems will be there when you get back. It's okay to give yourself permission to just live your life and be free and just give yourself a break. The thing is, when you give yourself a break, like when we punch out, we don't want to give ourselves permission to actually mentally punch out. I'm advising that you physically punch out, close your laptop, put your phone down, spend time with your children, with your spouse, with friends, whatever, right? And mentally punch out and say to yourself, I'm not going to deal with this right now. I'm going to be back December 1st, whenever you start your 2 weeks off, right? I will deal with it then. Oh, so-and-so, we've got a problem. I'm off. I will deal with it then. Hold your boundaries, be really firm about it. And God, like, it's amazing what not constantly picking at something will do for your ability to see the solution. It just shows up. Julia's been saying this to me for as long as I've known her. She's like, boy, I really like it when you travel. You always come back full of piss and vinegar and like filled with great ideas. Yeah, I know. Exactly. It's because I give myself time and space to actually have the damn ideas.
So it's so funny you mentioned this, that there's always a solution, right? Like you can just find the solution. So I'm going to Cabo for 10 days. We're going to do a little coaching retreat, do exactly what you're saying, take some mental space. I'm going to get my daughter baptized down there because my wife has family in Mexico. Anyway, we booked this trip. We're going to be gone for 10 days. We're committed to it. And then I was like, oh shit, that's exactly when my right-hand lady, who's the most important person in my mortgage business, is getting ready to go out on maternity leave. Like, I got to cancel the trip. I got to do this. No. Guess what? Like, for less than $2,000, we're taking my assistant with us to Cabo. So I'm like, hey, if Anne goes into labor, then you're going to be there to help us like figure it out. Like, there's always a solution. And guess what? The house is not bleeding. If escrow closes on a Tuesday,
will be there when you get back. It'll be fine.
And as long as I prep everybody up front and escrow closes on a Tuesday instead of a Monday, nobody's going to remember in 5 years when they got the house. They're just going to be stoked they got the house.
Your life is for living. Okay. And like, I probably wouldn't have said this like earthy, crunchy, hippy dippy stuff a couple of years ago, but I wrote a personal development book. So now I care about your well-being as well as your marketing. Boom. That's the good stuff. We had 2 comments that I actually really wanted to reply to. Patty Zor said, from one marketer to another, she's amazing. Thank you, girl. I appreciate you. Also, John Bauman wanted to know about what my advice is for dealing with difficult customers. And I know you asked him to expand. I want to just comment on that briefly. Difficult customers will flock to you when you don't know who your avatar is. So number 1, prevent difficult customers in the first place by getting clear on who you're not selling to. Okay, that's super critical. Yes, figure out your ideal customer profile. Figure that out. But once you actually have them, it's all about boundaries and figuring out what you will tolerate, what you will not tolerate. And the willingness to fire a client has never served anyone better than this girl. I started making serious money once I started firing clients because it's like, wow, you're an asshole. And you're really mean and you treat my staff like crap. You make me hate myself and want to pick up drinking as a hobby. I hate you. No. So fire the client. And then I'm spiritually, mentally, physically just like, oh God, you feel like a balloon that's like finally like getting some of the air out of it. You feel like the pressure release. Then, because you're in a different state energetically, you can then go attract your ideal customers who will appreciate you, who will respect you, not treat you like shit and make you want to pick up drinking as a hobby.
I've got to read this text message to you. Sorry, I know we could just go forever, but I got this text message this weekend from a bank loan officer who I know. And she said something to the effect of, oh, that email you sent me back was a really dry email. What had happened was this loan officer sent me a scenario. Hey, this client has to refinance these 4 investment properties. And I could just tell by the context of the email, I'm like, this is going to be a shit show where the client's going to want everything done right now at the best rate, the best service, the fastest turn times, da 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 da. You know, Wells Fargo already told me no. So it's like, I could just already feel the layers of pain. So I just emailed back and said, sorry, I'm not taking on any new clients right now. Best of luck. You might want to try these people. So the loan officer, who refers me a lot of business, just texted me. He's like, hey, that was a really dry email. I said, hey, I'm sorry. Our rates are where they are, here, there, this cost. And this felt like a very needy client who was going to wreck my life for the next 30 days. This loan officer writes back, yeah, she's a bitch. You probably didn't want to deal with her. And I'm like,
hashtag not worth it.
Hashtag not worth wrecking my life and my team's life for the next 60 days to deal with this client who's already been declined somewhere else, who needs it right now, the best rate, the best terms, the fastest service. You're on call 24/7 if I'm working with you. It's like, dude, my heart, like my family has bad health history. My heart is not worth having a heart attack for one client and
no, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, no, not even a little. And you made the right decision. And you know, I'm going to tell you this from experience, right? Started my company at 19. I retired at 37, like the day before my 38th birthday. Okay. And for 19 years, I had a mixed bag of experiences. But the pivotal turning point when all the dollars started showing up and my own ability to like breathe and not wear my, shoulders for earrings, that changed about 8 years in when I learned to say no. I believed in my ability to sell. I believed in my ability to solve problems and believe in my ability to attract the right people. Got really clear about who I'm selling to. What a difference. Like in the beginning, you don't believe you can say no because we all operate at one point or another from a lack mentality, which is, oh God, I don't know if I deserve it. And oh shit, I don't know if I deserve to be a millionaire. And I'm just a beginner. And that guy's more successful than me. We put ourselves through absolute mental hell and it's optional. Okay. It's optional. You can skip the bullshit. You can. I wrote a book about it. So there's that. But then also, like more specifically, like if you just understand that the finish line looks like you not giving a shit about what people think about you, and you're there to be an awesome servant of the people and just deliver and solve real problems in a real, authentic, genuine human way, dude, like you're going to want to get to the finish line faster. And you're going to realize, wow, I'm keeping myself in a mental prison. And then you'll opt out. You have to know that there's good on the other side. You have to.
That's awesome. I linked several times in the comments here, and Danielle will put it everywhere else, the Vision University and then Vision Advertising. Is that the easiest way to get in touch with you? Do you have a email that you give out to the public, or how do you like to be contacted?
Honestly, there's a couple of different ways to contact me. Like it depends on what you want to talk to me about. Okay. So Vision University is all like self-directed. I'm going to tell you this right now. I've got another computer right here. So we've got the free expert training. I've got interviews with awesome badasses across email marketing and wealth building and crisis management that I've been interviewing these awesome people. It's completely free. Please go to vision-university.com, sign up for the free expert training series. That's a great way to just kind of like get a sense of like who we are and the kind of badassery that we bring to your door. That's where the courses are. If you want to learn about us actually providing services for you, just go to vision-advertising.com. You can fill in the form over there. It'll ask you a few questions. And if you're a troll, it'll ask you, what kind of spam you like to eat. So that's always fun. I try my best to avoid the spam. We get a lot of it, even though it's very popular in Hawaii. So there's that option. And if you want to learn about your mindset stuff, that's my other company, which is the6habits.com, THESIX habits.com. Yep, there you go. you can learn about all those different things. But yes, I'm all over the place. And, there's Instagram, there's the LinkedIn, there's the Facebook, and all the blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I always respond to my emails, and I'm always excited to chat with people that really want to crush this whole marketing, sales, live out your dream life thing. It's kind of my jam.
Like, make it happen.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're going to have you back on again. I already know it because something cool is going to happen.
Because you're my pal, and that's just what we do.
And then we'll have to talk about some more crazy marketing.
Do I have to start a third company to get back on, or do you want to talk about habits next or marketing next?
No, why don't we start the third company? I'll get like 20 badasses that you know and I know, and we'll start some company. Who knows what we'll do? I don't know.
I'll tell you what, one of the things that'll be fun to talk about in the future is I'm actually doing a corporate rollout strategy for the 6 habits to actually help people with their mindset issues at a corporate level. So
Right.
I've been talking to some company and business owners lately, and it's very exciting. It's not completely built, but we've been talking about like what it would look like to actually transform the individuals within the corporations from like a mindset and well-being level, which ultimately creates better company culture and like profitability. So this is very exciting, and we can talk about that later.
Well, we're going to definitely talk about that later, because if you want to test run any of that, my coaching group, we've been going through some guest coaches for like our Wednesday and Thursday classes. So I'd love to have you on and talk through that with our coaching group. So maybe
Let's just talk about all the things.
Perfect. Yes. Can you guys stop the stupid ban on Hawaii travel so I can come over there and we can have dinner?
It's not me. I want you to come.
Okay.
Come visit. Bring the wife. Bring the kids. We'll hang out on the beach.
No, I'm not coming to Hawaii with the kids. They're not old enough. We're going to do some fun stuff. So my wife and I will shoot.
Oh, so your version of fun does not include wee ones.
Not in Hawaii. Like going to the park, going to jujitsu, like stuff that they can participate in. Absolutely. Going hiking through the mountains for 10 miles. My 4-year-old can't quite do it. He's up to about 4 miles, but not 10 miles. Yeah. Anyway, we'll figure something out.
Yeah. Sweet.
I'll see you in Hawaii soon.
Yeah, you will.
Goodbye for now, Laura DiBenedetto. Later, buddy.